Okay, imagine the Nanticoke River in 1790. You think it was prettier back then than it is today? Is that even possible?
I don't even know. Well, now imagine a big cargo ship sailing up the Chesapeake Bay headed for the town of Vienna. That ship shocked the people of Vienna.
Nothing they'd ever seen before. And Secrets of the Eastern Shore author Jim Duffy here to tell us why it was such a surprise to them. Thanks for being here again today.
Good afternoon. Good to be here.
Love having you here. Okay, so Vienna saw a lot of trading ships in those days.
They did in the colonial time. So if you go to the beautiful waterfront park that they have there now, there's like a little building off in the corner, and it's the custom house, which used to take all the paperwork for all the ships that came in. And that dates back to 1768, I think it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, long time. So it was still relatively new on this day in 1790 when a ship comes in. Now, 1790, slavery times, right?
Okay.
And it's not even a time in slavery times where there's a lot of free black people yet.
Okay.
It's like 90% enslaved blacks. Okay. And the ship pulls in, and it has a black captain, and it has an entirely black crew. So this is something that the people of Vienna have just kind of never seen anything like this before. The guy had been in Norfolk and he'd heard a rumor that there was the greatest crop of Indian corn that season ever. So he decides, he's never been to the Eastern Shore, but he decides to come to the Eastern Shore. His name is Paul Cuffy, Captain Paul Cuffy. And in that autobiography, he recalls this whole incident. He said the people of Vienna were filled with astonishment and alarm at the sight of them in the ship, and that they tried to prevent them from docking in Vienna. Yeah, so the alarm part, astonishment is understandable. The alarm part is they were worried about what their slaves, what their enslaved black people, how they would react and whether it would make them want to be free and that kind of thing.
So where did this Paul Cuffy come from?
Yeah. Paul comes from Massachusetts. He's a super fascinating guy. He's the son of a freed slave and a Wampanoag Indian woman. His father dies very young, and as a teenager he goes off on whaling ships to help earn money to keep the family farm going. And by the age of 20, he is back in Massachusetts and he's building a ship for himself. He's like hiring black ship workers, and he builds a small ship, then he builds a bigger ship, then he builds a bigger ship. He's big, well established. So after he kind of makes it pretty big with money, the people of the town he's in decide they want to start a school. Right? Okay. And he says, you want to start a school? Sure. He builds them a school on his property. He gives them the school. All the kids came, boys, girls, black, white. So there's a claim that this is the first integrated school in the history of America. Okay. He also helped out during the Revolutionary War, running blockades against through the British ships, and sued the state of Massachusetts, saying that he didn't owe taxes after the Revolutionary War. And the reason why he didn't owe taxes is because they wouldn't let him vote, and that would be taxation without representation.
Oh, there you go. Okay, let's go back to
the people of Vienna know nothing about this. And the people at the custom house there are trying to prevent him from getting in, but all his paperwork's in order, and he comes into Vienna. And in his autobiography, he describes how he needed to act with, and his crew needed to act with great prudence and generosity, understanding what a shock this was to the people of Vienna. So they behaved in this kind of hyper-professional manner. People, the leading citizens of the town came out to inspect the ship, and one of those leading citizens was so impressed that he invited Captain Cuffy to come in and have dinner at his house. Oh. That is a dinner I would have loved to have attended. It would have been completely fascinating. And he ends up leaving with a shipload of this Indian corn that he takes back to Massachusetts, and he made $1,000 on it. So this story, to me, it's something that we deal with today. You get somebody from out of town, somebody who's coming in and they have kind of strange ideas, and this isn't the way we do things here, and it's kind of like a crazy business idea. And this story to me is always like, well, some of them are crazy, but some of them are more crazy like a fox pointing the way towards a different future. Yeah. So that's how I think of Captain Paul Cuffy and his
preview of things to come.
Yeah.
How about that?
Awesome. Another great story from Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Eastern Shore. Check out his website sometime. As always, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.